I'm probably the only person that's thankful that they got a hernia. If that hernia hadn't happened, that discovery wouldn't have happened. Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm a stay-at-home mum and artist, and I'm a mum of 2 boys. In June of this year, we moved apartment. I did a lot of heavy lifting and shifting, and I ended up with this burning pain in my stomach. I said to my husband, it just doesn't feel right. I think I need to go to hospital. So I came into Mount Elizabeth emergency department, and they suspected I had a hernia. So they sent me for a scan. The doctors told me that I had a hernia in my stomach, so what we thought that burning pain was from, but he said that the scan came up to this sort of part of my chest, and you could see the base of my lungs, and in the base of my lungs there was a nodule there, and that nodule had taken up dye during the scan and looked like a cancer. He told on Wednesday that I possibly had lung cancer. He said it looked like it was in the early stages, so I should be lucky. The doc said to me, you need to have a PET scan and we'll check your whole body to see if that is cancer. It was a huge shock, and I remember bursting into tears, and the taxi ride home was probably the longest taxi ride of my life, not knowing how to go home. I went home and talked to my husband, and we decided that the best course of action for me would be to go straight back to hospital. So that very night, which was a Wednesday, I was admitted straight away. The next morning, doctors came in to see me. Those doctors were Dr. Rayo from Art and JR Surgery and Dr. Anise from ICTS. So they came in to talk to me about what was happening in my abdomen with the hernia, but what was happening with my lungs. That day we started with the PET scan, blood test, lung function test. There were a few options that were given to me. Dr. Rayo and Dr. Anise give me so much helpful information and options to make sure that I felt comfortable and what I could cope with, because it wasn't just one surgery that we needed to deal with, it was 2. And on Saturday morning, I was going into a surgery not knowing what they were going to find in my body. So emotionally it was very tough. It was a lot of big decisions to make and stress to process. When I woke up from that surgery and found out that I did not have cancer, they were able to successfully remove an infected part of my lung that I didn't even know was infected. Was just amazing to me. Basically from Wednesday to Saturday, I went from thinking I was 100% healthy to thinking I had lung cancer to having the lung cancer out of my body. I had the best possible outcome. I don't have lung cancer. I'm probably the only person that's thankful that they got a hernia, because having that hernia and coming into hospital, and they discovered what was in my lungs. If that hernia hadn't happened, that discovery wouldn't have happened. I knew that this was going to be a lot for my body to go through. My thoughts were, I just want to get this sorted. I didn't want to wait to find out if I had cancer in my lungs. I just wanted to have it dealt with, and I wanted it out of my body. So I chose to go with the robotic surgery. The great thing about the robot surgery was that they were able to go in and do 2 pretty big operations with minimal invasion. So I wasn't going to be suffering in extreme amounts of pain. They were able to deal with my abdomen and deal with my lung surgery in one. I had my surgery on Saturday, and the 5th day after surgery, and I was able to go home by Thursday. I'm surprised how little wounds I had on my body. I only have these small entry points on my body that are about that big. It was hard having to break that news to my family. I was in hospital, I was in ICU, and I had a drain inserted. I didn't want my children to come in and see me. It was super stressful and wasn't a good environment for my children. I didn't get to see my children for 8 days. After the surgery, I really just wanted to get home to my boys. I was just so thankful that because I had the robotic surgery, I was able to go home 5 days after my surgery and see my children, which for me was a huge part of my healing. So thankful that it ended up being such an easy surgery and such a quick recovery. I'm an artist, and the biggest way that I get through things that are hard for me is with my art. So on week 3, I felt comfortable enough to start painting. I thought about the dandelion because symbol of what I've gone through, and that strength to overcome pain and endure a tough situation, and that's helped me to process what happened to me and move on and get over. So I planted this. Lines here are my scars, reflective of what I see in the mirror every day. These small scars that, you know, could have been so much bigger. So my advice is, if at all you think that something doesn't feel right or you're suffering in some kind of pain, go and get it checked. Don't wait until it's too late. If I hadn't had that pain, would I have gone? Probably not. Thankfully, so we're in Singapore for my husband's work. The robot surgery, as far as I know, is not readily available to everyone. I think that's such a shame, and I'm so grateful that we are covered by insurance. You just can't be thankful enough. You have something to fall back on. You're not left dealing with that additional financial stress on top of what's already a really stressful situation. Go for your annual checkup, even if nothing's wrong, because you just don't know when something like this might happen to you completely unexpectedly.